right, so on page 33, guys, here's your steps for doing this stuff. We're finally going to start solving. The great news is when they're factorable, it's pretty easy to solve because you know how to factor. May take 2 or 3 lines of your notebook paper when you know how to factor. If you get a problem that you do not know how to factor, which it's not factorable, we're going to follow these steps. Let's go ahead and turn to page 34. And there's going to be some parts where you are going to follow along with me, and then there's going to be some parts where you just get to sit back and watch Miss Harrington do all the work. So first of all, this problem right here, we have f of x equals x to the third plus 3x squared minus x minus 3. We have to solve it. What's the degree here? 3. How many zeros are there? 3. Very good. We're going to talk about this in a moment. Here's where you just get to sit back and watch me. Now remember, it is an even amount of terms. So if it's an even amount of terms, maybe I can factor by grouping. That's where I'm going to try. So it was x to the third plus 3x squared minus x minus 3. Okay. What can I take out of that group? Yeah. All right, that's going to leave x plus 3. What am I forced to take out of this second group? Negative 1. Oh, and then look at that. It's totally factorable. So that's going to be x squared minus 1, and then x plus 3, and then, oh my goodness, are we done? So this is x minus 1, x plus 1. And then this is x plus 3. So I know my zeros are positive 1, negative 1, negative 3. Cool. Now, let's put all those puzzle pieces that you did yesterday all together on this sheet of paper. So over here, we're going to do Descartes rule of signs. Now remember, how many times does it flip the original equation? It flips from positive to negative, correct? And then that's it, right? So there's just one change. You should just have one positive answer. Do we have just one positive answer? Yes, we do. That's what that means. Let's look at our negatives. So it would be negative x to the third plus 3x squared plus x minus 3. It starts out negative, changes to positive, but changes back to negative. How many changes occur for the negative side? So I either have 2 negatives or none at all. It's 2 or none. We have some negatives. How many negatives did we get? Exactly 2. All right. Now let's do the rational zero test. So P is 3. I don't even care that's negative. We're going to write the negative in a moment. So that's 1 and 3. Your Q, your leading coefficient's 1. So my answer bank is going to be positive or negative 1 divided by 1, 3 divided by 1. Those are the only answers that exist. 1s and 3s. What kind of answers do we get? 1s and 3s. So all of that is going to help us when they don't factor in a few minutes. Okay, watch, guys. Remember, when you get a remainder of 0, we know the term is a linear factor. Let's synthetically divide. So look, I'm going to draw an upside down division box. I'm going to put these, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to put the original. I'm going to put the original coefficients on the top row. So let's write 1, I'll get that in a moment. A 3, negative 1, negative 3. Now look, I'm going to plug in either a positive or a negative value. What do I have a higher probability of? Look at your Descartes rule of signs. Do I have more negatives or more positives? Yeah, then I'm going to try negative first. So I'm going to choose a number, a negative number from my answer bank. I'm going to choose a negative 1. Let's put a negative 1. Now work through your synthetic division here. Go ahead and work through that. I'm not going to interrupt you.
So for the number that we choose to divide, it doesn't have to be the constant like the opposite.
We're choosing from the answer bank, and I'm choosing a negative because I have a higher probability of getting it right. Let's work through this. Because I get 2 negatives here. See how it has a 2 here for your negatives?
Yeah, but usually, I'm just wondering how this is different from regular synthetic.
Let's keep working. Let's keep going through it. So when I bring down the positive 1, negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. Bringing down my 2, negative 2, that's going to be a negative 3. And then, guys, we do not get a remainder, which we know, using synthetic division, x plus 1 is a factor. Let's analyze this quotient. Now remember, the polynomial started with a degree of 3. That means this quotient starts with a 2. So this is x squared plus 2x minus 3. Can you factor that? What does that factor to? Yes, x plus 3, x minus 1. Let's recopy those down here on this line, because this is where we're going to put our factored form of our polynomial. So again, the zeros are negative 1, negative 3, positive 1. And guys, don't worry about question number 5. You're never going to have to use synthetic division in here because